Jeremy Corbell says he's seen evidence. He's convinced we have been visited by alien life, extraterrestrial life, and convinced that they're here now. There are others around. I don't think he's definitively ever said that before. At least I don't remember him definitively saying that. But I think that more and more as the information is coming out and these files are coming out, more and more people are talking. He's also promoting a new documentary. So this is a longer clip on the Benny show that he was on today. So I want to play everything that he says here. It's like a 3-minute clip. So I'm going to play the clip from the podcast, and then when the clip's over, we'll kind of break down what he said. So take a look.
What have you seen? Can you please color what have you seen that has sort of made you stand with your jaw agape?
There have been some shocking moments in my investigations. I think that if what I have seen is put out to the American public, I believe it will be initially shocking. I do think that it is so hard to trust right now. It is so hard to trust your own eyes and what you hear from people. I think there needs to be a large amount of evidence that is put forward to the American people in order for it to really sink in. You know, I've been exposed to a lot, Benny, when it comes over the years of my work, and some of it you can't trust, but I have really good sources, and so does George. We've verified a lot of it you can trust. So I guess the short answer to your question, if you're asking, you know, what have I seen? I've seen absolute convincing evidence that we are being visited or that there are others that are here. And the intent, where they're from, I don't know those answers, but I know that some people do. And I know that within our government are some of those answers. And the American people don't have just like a right to know. I think at this point we have a need to know.
They're here, meaning that they didn't just accidentally crash land and this wasn't some gas station stop, that they're here on purpose and they're living amongst us, Jeremy?
You know, I don't know. That is something that people claim. You know, let me give you an example. In 2004, the Tic Tac UFO event became very, very famous. A good friend of mine, Commander David Fravor, he chased a UFO for the United States military. Now, these things were above 80,000 feet. So, you know, that means essentially space. And they were dropping down to sea level like that, less than a second, no sonic boom, instantaneously. But they weren't just dropping down. They were, the words given to me were docking with, somehow docking with something under the water. Within intelligence agencies, this is a known secret. So they're doing something. That was some sort of operation. So whatever is going on with these non-human intelligence, with these craft of unknown origin, there is a purpose. But what that purpose is, I just don't know.
Fascinating. Utterly fascinating.
All right, let's take that portion of it because it goes on for a little longer. But I wanted to kind of talk about what we heard there. Now, Jeremy Corbell does have a lot of access to things. People do share things with him. Whistleblowers do come to talk to him. They feel him and George Knapp can be way more trusted than, say, Arrow or other places. That's why these people have gone to them. They have consistently been at every hearing. They have been front row of the hearing. They talk to everybody who's kind of on the ground of these things. They're involved in these documentaries. George Knapp obviously has been kind of like a mentor, I believe, to Jeremy Corbell. They both have a lot of history, and George Knapp, of course, is like the godfather of UFO reporting in the first place. So the fact that this type of information and things that he has seen, you wouldn't be surprised by it. You know, if you believe in this stuff and you believe there's other things going on, as I do, it would make sense that someone like a Jeremy Corbell would be exposed to this type of stuff. Now, what I like about what Jeremy has done recently, and I think there are people who have not learned from past mistakes. Jeremy was one of the guys, like when the hearing was coming, I think it was a 2024 hearing, and he was like, "You're going to see what happens tomorrow, and it's going to change everything," and it didn't. And he quickly the next day was like, thought that the things that I thought was going to happen didn't happen, maybe spoke too quickly, whatever it might be. He's been careful with his words and certain things that he said. Now, when it comes to these things, and he's talked about these files, and he's talked about where, listen, these initial things coming out, they're not going to be the most groundbreaking things, but it's a good step. And he was right about that. He also said there's other things that he's got and things that he's seen that could really change the conversation, and the things that he's seen, the things that he knows. He clearly knows more that he can't talk about, and he has seen things that he can't discuss. Why ever? I try to I wonder why that is, right? Like if it's classified, first of all, if it's classified, then why did he see it? And if it was classified and he saw it, why is he held to the rules? Because then he can get somebody in trouble who showed it to him. Is that potentially why? I don't know. But maybe he's got that info, he's got that information, and so he is pretty definitive in that there are, beings that have visited or have been here, or potentially, as he hints, could be here now. And to where, as Benny asked him, did they crash? And there's like he didn't go into the details of it. Just it's like I've seen things to make it like this is real. So I wonder, because so many more people are now talking up about these types of things and becoming a little bit more definitive about it, because not that Jeremy really skated around it, but this is the most definitive I've heard him say about, that he's seen things that prove that there are other beings, that there are beings here. And I wonder if that's starting to happen more because of these files, because Burchett was talking about how if there's another story I was going to cover where Tim Burchett ultimately said, yeah, look, relax, everybody's with the first wave, we know. It's the stuff that in the second wave, the third wave, the things that are, and I guess Burleson said is going to come out like every 2 weeks. And he said, that's the stuff that if it gets approved, the stuff we want to really see, that's the stuff that people are going to be shocked by. But the problem that you run into there is if you run into if it's approved portion of it. I want to go a little bit more into this interview, so check out the rest here.
I'm excited. I'm excited over it, and I do think that this is something that we do have maybe a historic opportunity to reveal what the government has been doing. Some people have made some crazy claims on our show, like there's alien breeding programs. Have you ever seen anything like that?
So, I've never been briefed into that. There's a lot out there in the lore of UFOs and what's been going on. It's been so stigmatized for so long. I'm really going after the nuts and bolts and trying to build upon that. Every option is open until we have the core understanding. That's what I mean by freedom of thought. Like if we don't have the information, we can't have debate. We can't have speech. We can't have the scientific community looking at all of this. And look, this is why like really Sleeping Dog comes at the most perfect time. Journalism at its best doesn't just report on power, it moves power. So if you watch Sleeping Dog closely, it's going to provoke more releases. That was the purpose of why we put it out. If we keep the pressure on, more records will come out. And again, I am sure if they show the good stuff, some of it will be shocking.
Okay. So that's, again, for A, good way to promote your documentary. B, really giving you the intent of what the documentary is meant to do. And that is, okay, put the pressure on them. Make sure that they know that we have these things. We want to release these things. And when they were shooting this thing, they probably also maybe thought at some point these files could be released, or I'm sure when they were shooting it, they didn't have the stuff that had happened with Obama leading into Trump then saying we're releasing everything to them, then leading into it to then finally do that. I'm sure that this is all recorded and put together way before that. So probably added to it. And I think there was even a tweet initially that Jeremy Corbell put out saying, this is a lot of the stuff that we were going to release. So it's good that they're doing it now because we can also line it up, say this is what we had, this is what they didn't show, these are things that we had been leaked. I wonder out of the things that they have released in those initial files, if those things will pop up. But I think, putting the pressure on and learning more about it. I would like to get to the bottom of kind of how he knows, or at least believes definitively, that this is more than equipment from another country or anything else too, that it's definitively, interdimensional things, things from outer space, whatever it might be. I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions, and would love to talk to Jeremy Corbell about it, to be honest with you. But I'm curious about this, and I hope somebody asks them more definitive questions that we can get answers to down the line. But there are a lot more people talking right now, and there's a lot more information coming out. And I think he makes a point where it's like, yeah, there are more people that are going to be putting things out, and there are other things that might be out there more so than previously, or more things are slipping through the cracks now, and they're not able to hold it back as much, and things are starting to slip, and more pressure is coming. And the amount of pressure that is out there now, that's why this second batch, it's got to be powerful. That second batch has to be powerful. The first, and I equated it to the the hearings, and I'll do it again. The 2023 hearing was powerful in where it had a guy who was working for the program, and David Grush, who was basically revealed things that had not been revealed before. Or did it publicly, did it under oath, did it with 2 pilots, and that was monumental. But then when you do another one, and it wasn't even as powerful in 2024, it has less value. You've got to, it's almost like like a sequel of a movie. A sequel, if you want it to be better, it's got to top the first. It's got to have things in it that the first movie didn't have, and it's got to further what the agenda of the plot is. And that's the same thing with this stuff. If you put the same stuff out and you continue to do nothing really there. There's not this. I mean, there were quite a few people that have been saying, it wasn't anything that blew me away. It's that's what that second batch has to do. And maybe some of the stuff that he's seen will be in batch 2 or batch 3. We'll have to find out. What do you guys make of it? Do you buying into it? You not buying into it? What do you think about his claims that he's so definitive that he believes that it is indeed alien life? What say you? Put your thoughts in there. Let me know. Thanks for being here. As always, make sure you click like, comment, subscribe. I'm trying to do as many videos as possible this week. Lots of stuff going on. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. We'll see you soon. Bye. Hey, thanks for checking out the show today. I don't know about you, but for me, I had to wake up and I needed a cup of coffee just to feel like a human being. Some people feel that way with a nicotine pouch, and they just need it in order to feel, okay, that's what I need to go. That's what I need to go. 2-3 cups of coffee. So I recently was sent the Ultra pouches, and it's really a game changer. To change focus and energy levels. Probably was about, 2 months ago. And the pouches are nicotine free. They're caffeine free, which is, I think, the whole reason why you check them out. They're truly clean. They're powdered pouches designed to sharpen your mind and lift your energy, all without caffeine, all without nicotine, or that crash, which is the same thing. And what they use is the Infinity PX, which is a cleaner, smoother energy booster, more so than caffeine. The Alpha GPC, which is a nootropic for enhanced mental processing, and they have vitamin BG, B12, balanced energy, and mood. So I didn't even realize that you could feel like this without caffeine. I didn't know it was possible, to be honest. And I've been going to the gym more often. I feel the recovery process is a little quicker now. And I can totally see myself keeping this at the office, to be honest, right? I have it near the front when I walk in and pop one in, and that's it. And I want to go to work. So 90% of the users saw significant improvements in their overall focus levels with calm, steady flow, state focus, enhanced memory, smooth energy, mood balance, all with 0 nicotine and 0 caffeine. So I highly recommend the Ultra Pouches. It's the ultimate guilt-free pouch delivering instant focus, mental clarity without nicotine, without caffeine. New customers can use that code DTE, get 15% off at takeultra.com. That's takeultra.com. You get 15% off with that code DTE. You're going to purchase it. You're going to go and you check it out. They're going to say, where'd you hear about us? You tell them that DTE, Kristian Harloff, sent you. Please support the show and let them know that I sent them your way. Or the other way around, whatever.